This is my first battle in OU on Pokemon Showdown. Well, for YouTube at least. It's kind of a stall battle, really. Stall war. Arcanine was the biggest threat to my team because I had nothing that could actually affect it super effectively except for Heatran's Earth Power and Heatran's, of course, weak to close combat. At least I didn't have any powerful fire moves because of the rain. Spiritomb was... well, it was an experiment and it didn't work out. I was just trying to see if Spiritomb could be used effectively offensively in OU. It turns out no, it really can't. Especially against rain teams, it's kind of useless. I had Rest in there, so Toxic wasn't a problem, but other Calm Minders were. And he had a Calm Mind Jirachi, which was the most dangerous one of all. So maybe Calm Mind Rainbows. Excuse me. I've got a bit of a cough. Ferrothorn, as always, was kind of annoyingly stally. But luckily I managed to, well, you'll see later, I managed to trick... oh, I've already done it. I wasn't really paying attention. I managed to trick a Choice Scarf onto it to stop it completely ruining me. But it still managed to stall me out pretty well towards the end. Yeah, Spiritomb stays alive for quite a while, but it eventually fails because it's just kind of useless, especially with Leech Seed on. It just doesn't perform well. Jirachi, big threat. It again stays around for quite a while, Calm Minding. I'll just alongside my Spiritomb. Of course, it has Thunder as well, so. And you know full well that it's going to paralyze me, even before I tell you. It's just the way Calm Mind Jirachi works. It's surprisingly good damage, but in the end, it's just all kind of, well, pointless. Spiritomb is not OU worthy, that's for sure. Plus, I've already got Sableye, which is. And Sableye is a much better Dark Ghost, thanks to Prankster. Even though Spiritomb has better stats. Kind of uneventful until my Spiritomb dies, and then it gets a bit more interesting. It's an anti-weather team, my team. I designed it to be anti-weather. It performs better against rain teams in general than sand or sun. And I do struggle a lot against hail teams. Since most of them pack Scizor with superpower to deal with things like Heatran and Ferrothorn. And it's against rain teams though it does work pretty well. And Tricker and Rioniclus especially I've grown very fond of. And my Ferrothorn gets critted several times. And that's the first one. Luckily it manages to stall out Jirachi for quite a while. With Leech and Protect, it's a very effective strategy. Leech and Protect with Ferrothorn is very, very good. My Ferrothorn is max special defense and a good amount of physical defense and a bit of physical offense. A bit of attack power just to give Jaraball a bit extra kick. Allows it to oak up Terrakion. Certainly Scarf Terrakion is always OK'd, and Banded usually is always OK'd as well. I mostly just had to put a bit of extra defense EVs in it. Jirachi critted me again there with Psyshock. Luckily, Jirachi can't manage it again thanks to my Protect, but it decides to switch out instead to Politoed, which is kind of a bitch. Although I'm surprised he switched out into Politoed and not Arcanine, personally. Scald obviously does very little, and I'm paralysed so I can't be burned. Leech Seed will drain Politoed. Yeah, it does nothing. I Jaraballed then to try and kill it, but he switched into Arcanine then instead. And then I was expecting close combat, which is why I didn't want to switch into Heatran just in case it was a fire move, but of course it was close combat. Life Orb and Iron Barbs means he took a lot of recoil. and Runicle switches in. I was expecting him to switch directly into Scissor, but I trick-roomed anyway. Killed himself with Wild Charge. My trick-room Runicle has Hidden Power Fire, so even in the rain it always echoes Scissor. It's beautiful. And it always echoes Genesect as well, which makes it very useful. Latios, I don't have Shadow Ball because I've got Hidden Power Fire, so Latios is a bitch to kill. And this one with Surf is just too powerful for my Runicle, which has max HP, max special attack, and minimum speed. If I had more special defense instead of HP, maybe. But, oops, sorry about that. My screen going blank for a second there. Melt is very unreliable. I tripped a Choice Band onto Politoed, but I got leftovers because I needed to get leftovers to hope to win this battle. Because I was severely outclassed here with Sableye and Heatran left against his Latios and Jirachi. I expected him to switch to Ferrothorn. Sorry, to Latios, but switching to Ferrothorn. I managed to burn his Ferrothorn. And then I switched out with Leech Seed, as you'll see in a second. Excuse me. I am very ill. Leech Seed, again, it's an annoyance for Heatran. But I was expecting him to then switch into Latios. He switched into Jirachi instead, but a Dragon Pulse and killed him anyway. I then expected Latios to come out and surf me to death. What I didn't realise was that the amount of special defense EVs I put into Heatran was actually enough to survive, which I was very happy about, and then I just Dragon Pulse him down. And then just to finish off Ferrothorn, I'll just switch into... I mean, Ferrothorn's scarfed, so it can't do anything. So I'll just switch into Sableye, let it leech it all at once. It can't out-kill me. Yeah, it can't kill me thanks to my Recover and Nightshade. And so my Nightshade simply finishes off Ferrothorn. Leech Seed doing very little to help it because my Sableye has max defenses but minimum HP, so Leech Seed doesn't affect it that badly. It doesn't heal opponents particularly high. Yeah, so that was my first recorded OU battle. Thanks for watching.